Good morning and welcome to another beautiful edition of Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa. I'm your host Wale Agbede, back on your screen for what promises to be another fantastic edition of the show. For everybody watching us all over the world, we're airing it live from our studios in Lagos. We're going to be focusing on the title race in the Premier League. Is crunch time as we go into the business end of the season across Europe, and of course we will be touching on each of these leagues one at a time. But for this beautiful morning, we'll be focusing on the Premier League. Arsenal sitting pretty, 8 points clear of defending champions Manchester City. Arsenal, unexpected Premier League contenders this season, having last won the title in 2004, when indeed they went invincible under former manager Arsene Wenger. But this time around is Mikel Arteta at his first team role, helping Arsenal to the top of the league with 9 games to go and a shot at the Premier League title. Joining me this morning, all the way from North London, and a great, extremely popular fan of Arsenal Football Club, is Kelechi Anyikude. You guys know him as your favorite local man. Kelechi, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Wale. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. How is London this morning?
Good idea. You know, we are suffering and smiling. You know.
if you are suffering and smiling in London, then what are we doing here in Nigeria?
It is what it is, isn't it?
Anyway, I do know that you enjoyed your stay in Nigeria over the festive period, and you did stay and didn't want to go back to London. So, I mean, maybe you should come back home soon. Anyway, thanks for joining us on the show. Let's just quickly get on into it with regards to our focus on the title race. My first question has to be, seeing as you are on ground amongst the fans who go to the Emirates, and of course the away games, who follow the team, who support the team from the stands, what's the mood like in the pubs, in the offices, on the streets of London? What's the mood like amongst Arsenal fans? Are they like literally pinching themselves? Because like I said, at the start of the season, I don't think even Arsenal fans thought they would be here, 9 games to go.
Yeah, you're right. That's the perfect word to use. We are pinching ourselves because we never expected it. But again, with the belief and the unity in the team, the manager has changed the culture of the side. He has instilled the discipline and technical know-how in the team, and we've been going places, and it has also united the fan base. Everybody's singing from one hymn book now, the one hymn sheet. So the support has been fantastic. The fans are just enjoying the ride, and like I always say, we are taking one game at a time. We are not being carried away, because it's only 8 points clear. Manchester City have a game in hand. Anything can change at any time. I mean, when they beat us at the Emirates, they actually went on top of the league that weekend. So anything can happen. But we are just enjoying the ride. It's a very good ride. We are almost guaranteed of Champions League now, definitely. So a cherry icing on the cake will be to win the league, and we'll continue playing, trying to win the league when we go to Liverpool on Sunday. All
right. Arsenal. This weekend, Manchester City opened Premier League proceedings after the international break. Tea-time fixture, City against Liverpool. And then you saw that performance. I was watching the reaction of the guys on AFTV. They were monitoring the City-Liverpool game. And, you could feel that, they were expecting Liverpool to do Arsenal some favors. City are now on a 7-game winning streak. For the first time this season, they've won 4 games in a row in the Premier League. But Arsenal continue to respond, despite City putting pressure on them in the title running. One of the question marks on this Arsenal team over the years has been with regards to mentality. When the chips are down, the Arsenal players go down. But this season, it seems like, they do have a stronger mentality in them. I know that you have, you relate with some of the players in the dressing room. Do you feel that sense of a stronger mentality in the dressing room at Arsenal?
Yes, of course. Even when you speak to the players, I think I saw Nketiah and Ramsdale at the last game, and speaking to them, you could see that they really want it. It's not business as used to know Arsenal. Everybody is singing from one hymn sheet, and they're actually focusing on ourselves. They're focusing on our results. I mean, don't get me wrong, they will know about the Man City result, but we're in pole position, and if we continue to win our games, we will win the league. That's the mentality, and I love that mentality. Saka was not feeling too well the last game, and you can see that Trossard started, and there was no much drop off in quality, and we still won the game. So everybody's united, everybody's playing for each other. The competition for places is very, very fierce, and Gabriel Jesus back from a long-term injury. The competition has only increased. So the boys are actually, playing well, and they never know when to lose anymore. You can look at the Bournemouth game, last kick of the game, and we've had a lot of 90-minute winners this season. I remember the Man United game as well. So they just don't know when to lose, and that's a mark of a very good team. And hopefully they can, clinch the title this season.
All right, Kelechi, you mentioned Gabriel Jesus just now. He's just back from injury. His first start over the weekend against Leeds United, and he scored twice. What impact do you think it could potentially have in the title running with 9 games to go?
Yeah, I mean, he will have a great impact. He's a fantastic player. He's our #1 striker. In as much as he does this season, he hasn't, before he got injured, he wasn't really scoring too many goals, but you can see how he glues the team. You can't pin him down. He's everywhere in that front line, like pulling out defenders, opening spaces for his teammates. So it's really, really good to have him back. And I think the penalty he scored actually gave him confidence to score more. And scoring 2 goals, his first full start since coming back from injury, will do him a world of good. I'm happy that he's back. Hopefully we'll have Nketiah back in the next week or so. And, the competition for places, I mean, only the best person can start, and that's only good for the team. So hopefully Nketiah is back. Trossard again can play, up front as well. We'll just be taking 1 game at a time. Remember also, we go to Liverpool next weekend, and Trossard scored the hat-trick there when he was playing for Brighton earlier this season. So we are going with positive vibes. I'll keep an eye on Liverpool-Chelsea game this evening to have a feeling of how it's going to go on Sunday, but I'm hopeful that we'll win.
All right, fantastic, Kelechi. All of these positives, because I mean everything around Arsenal, around the Emirates right now is absolutely positive, and we all do have to admit that. But how much of all of that, including the buzz in the dressing room, the positivity amongst the fans, and of course the results on the pitch, how much of this is down to Mikel Arteta?
Everything is down to him. When he let some players go, he was questioned. When he signed certain players, when we missed out on, for instance, Modric, for instance, people are like, we missed out on our main target, you're going for Trossard, but Trossard has turned out to be better than the Modric, So, we've come now to trust his judgment. He's the coach, and I've always been a proponent of, allowing the coach to do his job, sign the players that he wants that fits his system. I'm a proponent of that. I'm not really a big fan of sporting director. Unless the coach is working in tandem with sporting director, then I'm fine. So you can see this is his team, it's his blueprint. They play the way, look at Zinchenko. You don't even know whether Zinchenko is playing left back or he's playing right wing sometimes. He's popular everywhere. So the football is fantastic to watch. And with, beautiful football, wins and everything, that, increases belief in the team.
Well done.
You no longer hear things about maybe Kroenke out, the owners should go, because the team is winning. So with every win and with good performances, everyone is united. And the love is there and the support is there. So everything is really down to Arteta. He's done a very, very great job, and long may he continue.
All right, so I mean, you've extolled the virtues of the manager, Mikel Arteta, whom everybody loves in North London at the moment. But amongst the players, I know that Bukayo Saka has gotten a lot of plaudits. But I mean, the shift, right, in terms of results and the buzz at the club, and in terms of positions from last season to this season, cannot be down to just one player, right? It can't possibly just be Bukayo Saka. So, in your opinion, apart from Saka, which other players do you think have deserved a lot more media attention? Have deserved a lot more credit for where Arsenal are today, but haven't gotten it because Saka has been the headline?
I mean, a lot of our players are actually doing well. It's really hard to pinpoint one man. But, for the
maybe 2 or 3. I mean, you're allowed to pick more than
2
one.
or 3. Okay, Thomas Partey, without him, like the midfield is bare. I mean, all due respect to Jorginho, but it's not the same levels of performance when the Partey is there. You know, we look at our captain Odegaard. He knits everything together. He's really a fantastic player. And this season they've been comparing him to players like Kevin De Bruyne. He's been playing really well. Zinchenko, you know, has taken us levels, you know, with his mentality, his belief. You can see his passion. You can see the way he plays. You know, I think they were asking Jacob Murphy of Newcastle the other day, and he said his toughest opponent has been Zinchenko because you can't pick him up, and then he slips passes here and there. So this boy, Gabriel Magalhaes in defense as well, he has been a rock. He's been rock solid. I think the disappointment of him not going to the World Cup, you know, actually improved his performances. You know, so a lot of them have been, you know, playing well. Martinelli has got some vital goals. I think he's one of our highest goal scorers as well. So I can mention all of them. They are really playing well. You look at Ben White, he's a central defender, playing right back, and he's the best right back in the league. So he can pinpoint everybody. Everybody's playing well because the competition is fierce. The manager has made them believe in themselves, and you know they're kicking on. So you can pinpoint. So if you ask me to name the team of the season now, I can guarantee that 7 of Arsenal players will be there. And this is not even bias, but I can't pick anybody. They are really playing well.
All right. So I mean, we've been talking about the positives and positives and positives, but local man, if somehow, right, Arsenal don't win the title, right, would it be a disappointment to you, or would you still regard it as an overachievement?
No, it's an achievement, not an overachievement. It's an achievement. If we don't,
well, I say overachievement relative to the previous results.
No, I mean, if we don't win the league, it's still a fantastic season. The target was get to top 4, get back into the Champions League, you know, rolling with the big boys, and we have virtually achieved that. Winning the league is icing on the cake for me. It's been a fantastic season. We can see, I mean, the trophy doesn't really define this fantastic season all the time. We can see the way the club is going. We can see the way they are playing. And like I said, it's a process. It's always been a process. You look at what's happening in Man United at the moment. It's also a process. So things don't just happen overnight. So if we don't win the league, it's still a fantastic season. You know, we've qualified for Europe, playing fantastic football, and then we'll build from that. You know, you'll attract better players, you have more money to spend in the market. It's all win-win.
All right, Kelechi, before I let you go, I have to ask this. You know, following up to the last question, we know that Manchester City, they've been there, they've done that, right? In fact, they're trying to make it 3 in a row this season. They know how to win on the final day. In 2012, probably the greatest game in Premier League history against Queen's Park Rangers. Sergio Aguero, 93rd minute, banged their first league title in the Premier League era. They did it again last season, 2 goals down at the Etihad against Aston Villa. Final day of the season, Liverpool hoping that Aston Villa get it done. Unfortunately, Ilkay Gundogan has other things to tell Liverpool, and City are champions. If it goes down to the wire, do you think that Arsenal have it in them mentally? I know we've talked about their mentality earlier, but against this really monstrous Manchester City team, if Arsenal somehow drop and allow City catch them, you know, in terms of points, and it goes down to the wire, many people will be tipping City to win. Would you be tipping Arsenal?
I'll be tipping Arsenal because Arsenal will be playing at home and City will be playing Brentford away. Tough side, if Antonio
and Brentford have beaten City already this season.
Exactly, I was going to say that. So it will not be an easy game for them at all. But I'm not saying that Wolves will be an easy game for us. I mean, I've been there when Brighton beat us. We were trying to get Champions League under Unai Emery, and Brighton beat us, and they were laughing. So it was a very bad game, you know. So if I won that game, would have been in Champions League. So I've been there before, you know. But I expect us to beat Wolves again, depending on where Wolves are as well, because Wolves might be fighting relegation. I know these teams are fighting relegation. They're battling for their lives and survival. So it will not be an easy game as well. But I see us winning that. But for Man City to win Brentford at Brentford is to be a very, very tough ask. But again, it might not even come down to those games. Man City plays Southampton next weekend. You know, Jaribo's team, Onachu's team, they are fighting. They are at the bottom of the table. You expect them to come out fighting hard. We have 2 Arsenal boys there to work out and midnight to do the job for us. So everything is in the play till that time. I don't expect it to get to the wire, but if it does go to the wire, I expect Arsenal to win, to clinch the title. Sorry.
All right, Kelechi, really, really positive, always positive. I mean, I think that, you know, maybe amongst the Arsenal fans, your feel-good spirit, you know, the positivity you share around, you know, the stadiums, you know, home and away, is probably one of the reasons Arsenal winning all their games. So I remember that when you were still in Lagos, a lot of your guys in London, in fact, a lot of guys in Nigeria were asking, when are you coming back home? You know, because Arsenal needed to start winning games. You remember when you guys were beginning to drop points?
I have to go back to give them the good luck chant. Positive vibes only.
As the confirmed local man.
Yes, sir.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much, Kelechi, for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, and I wish you guys a whole lot of luck. All right, Kelechi Anyikude joining us all the way from London this morning to talk about Arsenal and their charge towards a first Premier League title since 2004.